What's good, y'all? I've got some sick buffs for Glalie, a really cool Pokemon that I don't think gets enough love, and I'm super excited to get into these really cool buffs and changes for them. Before I do that, for any new viewers, I want to say two things. First of all, welcome. Second of all, make sure you check out that link in the description. You can check out all 600 plus move buffs and changes. Those are super important on the Google Sheet. You can also look at all the other Pokemon buffs and changes, but the most important part of the Google Sheet besides the Pokemon buffs and changes is, of course, the move buffs and change sheet. I've reworked literally everything move in the game. There's 130 new ones. There's all these nice little categories, as you can see on screen. You can click them and it'll take you to that section, or honestly, you can just scroll in order and it'll take you there. Or you can scroll in order and it'll be like easy to understand that way as well. But yeah, that's super important. Please do give that a look. With that out of the way, though, Glalie got some significant changes from the original rendition of their buffs and changes in the older video. Glalie was initially an ice rock type because it's literally a rock. Like, I'm pretty sure the Pokedex word for word says like several times that it is a rock covered in ice. So ice rock fits totally fine and it's good offensively, but because of the decreased speed, which I had to do because I wanted to make him bulkier, it's kind of just like it feels unnecessary to give him the extra weaknesses, especially when pure ice is actually a genuinely good defensive typing now. Ice rock is also solid, but Ice rock is great offensively, but initially I had Aurora's planned to be Ice Dragon, and then I went back on that last minute and kept it Ice Rock. Therefore, I felt Glalie can now be pure ice. That's the main logic for that. Mega Glalie is still Ice Dark. However, another thing I noticed is that Glalie doesn't normally get Levitate. And because Ice now resists ground, Levitate is kind of not that great on them, especially because Glalie is super bulky. And so I was like, you know what? Let me give them a real ability, because Levitate is extremely situational over Levitate, almost borderline useless. So it's not totally useless, like it would still be solid, but I prefer having actual abilities. So essentially, now you get weak armor, which will turn into sheer force. So weak armor is pretty useful on base Glalie. You could use that with focus sash and weakness policy and weak armor, and become super fast and super strong, and you have good coverage and stuff, and you're pretty strong. But the main use is to use that as a pre-mega ability, especially. So obviously, basically, it can be offensive on its own. But what the fun thing you can do is switch in, get the +2 speed boost, mega evolve, get sheer force, right? And another beautiful thing that Glalie has is Intimidate, which is a very fitting ability for his design and demeanor. And he has stuff like Intimidate, Parting Shot, Recover, great utility stuff like that, which is super valuable in a difficult ROM hack like this. So that alone makes Glalie worth using over Mega Glalie for a lot of boss fights. Not to mention that he is objectively a better defensive Pokemon than Mega Glalie is. I mean, I guess technically for some situations you could actually Mega Evolve defensively because you want to resist his Dark or something, but like in most cases you're going to use Glalie for defensive utility. But the really cool thing you can do with the Intimidate into the Mega Evolution is you can switch in, Intimidate the opponent, and then Mega Evolve and gain Berserk. Berserk obviously is a very fitting ability for Mega Glalie, same with Sheer Force, because of just how unbridled his Mega Evolution energy is, that it made him break his own jaw. Mega Glalie's so sick. He's probably my second favorite Mega Evolution. So fucking cool, man. He gets a lot of hate too. I think he's awesome. Refrigerate is no more. Refrigerate would not cut it in a hack like this. It's not like it would be bad or anything, but there's a bunch of other ice types with Refrigerate, so it's not as cool or unique anymore. It's just kind of boring in this hack. It's not as good. Sheer Force and Berserk are much better and much cooler abilities for Glalie, especially when Refrigerate is a widely distributed ability on ice types now. So yeah, that's why also it's just not that good. You already have very high base power ice type moves. You'd rather get a boost on your other moves than just your ice type moves. So that's why Sheer Force and Berserk are better. But yeah, if you read the Pokedex, it talks about when it's spews to it's just basically just Glalie is constantly angry all the time because of his jaw being broken. So that's why he's Dark type. That's why also just Dark type. I mean, he genuinely always should have been Dark type. I don't know why they didn't make Mega Glalie Ice Dark. It would have been really cool to have a special or mixed counterpart to Weavile, because we all know Ice Dark is very good dual stab combo. It is weak to common priority moves in this hack, like First Impression, but that's not the end of the world. That's why you have the base Glalie if you want that defensive, First Impression neutrality. I mean, the ability to actually live it. Because Mega Glalie also loses bulk, which I think fits for his design because it's literally breaking in half, So he's all out in offense. He literally gets +50 speed, plus 50 attack, plus 50 special attack from Glalie. It's pretty funny, actually. I like it a lot. Man, he's so fucking cool. Yeah, Sheer Force, he has tons of awesome boosted moves. The most powerful ones for stab being Icicle Crash and Health Thrust on the physical side, and then Glaciate and Night Days on the special side, Night Days being 110. Well, Night Days and Health Thrust are the same power and accuracy. Those are 100 base power, 95% accurate moves with their own little additional advantages. Health Thrust disabling fairy moves for 2 turns, and then Night Days having a 25% flinch rate, I believe. So those are both, or 20%, something like that. So those are both pretty damn great. Meanwhile, let's really think. Glaciate is very strong. Glaciate and Icicle Crash are both 110 base power, 90% accurate moves. Icicle Crash having that flinch rate, Glaciate having a guaranteed chance to drop speed by 2. Sorry, speed by 2, excuse me. But of course, with Sheer Force, that those additional effects are all removed for an exchange in a great power boost, which makes them really strong. Of course, by this hack standards, this isn't like the strongest thing in the game. It's just a nice strong Pokemon with really cool dual stab. Its speed stat isn't like the best in the world. It is a good speed tier, but this is not competitive 6v6 singles where you are guaranteed a 31 IV, you know, Timid Nature Glalie or a Jolly Nature Glalie. You are getting whatever you get. So you could get a 15 speed IV neutral speed Nature Glalie, you know, and now you're not nearly as fast as you want to be, which is why you would abuse weak armor into Sheer Force. And then Intimidate into Berserk is awesome because you can use Intimidate, debuff the opponent, and then you can Mega Evolve and click Recover with Berserk and rack up Berserk boosts and get really strong. So that's super fun. And of course, even if you're not racking up Berserk boosts, the Intimidate pre-Mega is still really useful to get it on the field a lot easier. So weak armor situation can be very bad because while it does boost your speed, it also, you know, drops your defense, which could leave you vulnerable to the next thing that comes in. So you got to be careful, but that's the beauty of having that infinite usability capsule, which is what all Pokemon are balanced around in this hack. So you can switch around between weak armor, Intimidate, Sheer Force, Berserk, whatever it is. You have tons of great coverage moves on both physical and special sides of the spectrum. You know, you've got buffed Fangs, pretty much all the Fangs besides Fire Fang, including Crunch and Jagged Fangs. You know, rock moves of all different kinds, dark moves, of course, Flash Cannon, which is buffed, and Earth Power and Zen Headbutt, and all these really fun moves. Even Takedown is Sheer Force boosted. So yeah, I'll cover the Sheer Force boosted options. Sheer Force wise, you have access to, let me go in order, Water Pulse, Signal Beam, Iron Head, Ominous Wind technically, but you have Shadow Ball and also you're a Dark type, so you're not going to use Ghost moves. Psychic Fangs, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Poison Fang. There's a whole list, by the way. You can literally just click it. So, you know, actually, I'm going to save my breath. If you are really curious about all the Sheer Force boosted options that Mega Glalie has, you can click this link on the description on the Google Sheet and click the Sheer Force option. I'm not going to waste my breath. But yeah, tons of powerful non-Sheer Force boosted options as well. So, of course, it's really up to you which of the two you'd rather run. It depends on the situation for the most part. And again, basically is a great defensive Pokemon because it resists ground, flying, dragon, and ice now. And it has Intimidate, and it has Parting Shot, and it has Recover, and it has other great utility moves. So in general, these guys would be an absolute blast to use. Avalanche on base Glalie is also really great. It is essentially 150 base power as long as you got hit that turn. Only downside being it has 90% accuracy, but like it's pretty damn fair. Not to mention Icicle Crash also has 90% accuracy, so like who cares? Oh, that's for base Glalie. Of course, you would rather use Icicle Crash or Ice Fang on Mega Glalie. You don't even need Icicle Crash. It's kind of overkill sometimes. You might just want to run Ice Fang for the consistency because in a Hardcore Nuzlocke, that 10% chance to miss can spell death. So it's really up to you which of the two you'd rather run. Of course, Freeze Dry is still great on the special sets as well. Although you do have some coverage for water types, you still, you know, hitting them in one move is nice. Excuse me. Overall, though, very simple Boston changes overall. I guess lastly, I can touch on Twilight Cannon and Oblivion Beam, and also the pre-evolution Snow Runt. So Twilight Cannon and Oblivion Beam will drop your special attack by 2. Twilight Cannon can actually be physical as well. It comes from Photon Geyser, the animation, so it uses your physical or special attack set, depending on which is higher. And Glalie is a mixed attacker, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Oblivion Beam, also incredibly powerful, 180 base power. It's essentially like even stronger Dark type Draco Meteor, so that's super fun. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Lastly, I'll just cover stuff about Snow Runt. Oh, I remember when I brought that up. Yeah, I brought that up because I wanted to say that Frost Breath in conjunction with those moves is great because Frost Breath will always crit, ignoring the special attack drop from Twilight Cannon and Oblivion Beam. So that's super fun. But back on topic, you also have Priority, by the way. Arch Shard and Frost Flurry are both priority moves. Frost Flurry being special Ice Shard. But yeah, Snow Runt has Prankster and Unaware and actually pretty good solid stats, considering that it also has resistances. So yeah, Snow Runt's really great for all of Melee on Akala Island. It's got Prankster Encore, Prankster Parting Shot, Prankster Disable, Prankster Tearful Look, Prankster Fake Tears, even Prankster Confide, which drops special attack and special defense. I'm going on for too long. Damn, this video is the music looped twice. So I'm gonna leave the video off there. I appreciate you listening. Shout out to you. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think, and I'll be back for more coming up. Peace.